Now that we've validated some ideas, we can start to actually build things. First, you'll notice that you've switched over to the Actions tab, and that's because building things usually takes multiple steps that can't be done in a single shot by an AI tool. Lots of steps need to be done by humans, and to maintain our business thinking, we have an action board here with future tasks, priority, in progress, and then finished ones shown on our timeline here, which not only tracks previous tasks, but allows us to schedule new tasks in the future and even add them to our primary calendar like Gmail. These helps you keep your discipline and business thinking mindset. It also turns Siift into a data-driven loop that can keep you focused on building a business incrementally instead of going down a rabbit hole of burning tokens and wasting time using AI to code up app features that nobody wants, write a business plan that nobody's going to read, or make a website that nobody clicks through. When you do decide to build things, you can connect different tools to help. For example, you can build things directly with Siift by connecting your GitHub or things like Figma. Or if you want, you can instead use Siift to generate system prompts or specifications that are aligned to your strategy, and then feed those to things like Cursor, Claude, ChatGPT, or even other generator tools such as HeyGen or Visa in the case of making websites. For example, I could create a website that's very aligned to the problem I'm solving and write it in a way that appeals to my audience and communicate my value proposition with compelling messaging. But of course, the first version of every website isn't going to be perfect. The difference here is instead of relying on another AI tool to assume a bunch of different things and create a website that you can't learn with, using Siift in combination with another tool to generate your website can help you actually develop a loop where you can test out very specific concepts in terms of, say, the problem or any of the other things that we talked about, so you can iterate in a more systematic fashion and figure out what actually works. This becomes explained more in the go-to-market phase, where we tie in traction data such as your website traffic or signups. Another key topic to consider when you're building things is your tech strategy. It's not a matter of just picking up a random tool and using it. There are so many cool modern tools that can help you, and there's an increasing question of what to build and maybe what steps to take, whether you're prototyping and so on. In our case, for the paddleboard canopy project, I asked Tiff, what should I build first? And it correctly pointed out that the make or break feature in my app is this quick release rail mounting clip that helps the canopy actually become detached or collapse in the case of wind. So I went ahead already and told it to do some research to figure out if something like this already exists, and if there are maybe similar products or other tools that we could adapt from other use cases to help us prototype more quickly. Sif went ahead and did this, and it figured out that there is nothing else like this in the market, and this can be something that truly sets my business apart and creates a sort of moat or defensible strategy that nobody else can do. But it's also a real risk that I need to work on if we can't build something like this and the business doesn't really work. And so it's pointed out a few different tools that we could try for prototyping purposes. And it suggested things like looking deeper into wind resistance issues, which, spoiler alert, I've already tried building this, and wind resistance is definitely a big issue. But it can also help me do things like find manufacturers and start talking about how much it would take to actually build this. If I continue down this line of discussion, I'll probably find that there is a significant amount of cost associated with building this business. And it may be better for me to switch gears to develop a website first to get some pre-orders or at least waitlist signups, and then maybe build a business plan or a pitch deck so that I can go and get some small investment to help cover the capital costs of building out this project. So as you can see here, there's a lot of different things to consider when you're building, whether you're doing research on the key features or tools that are actually going to make your business work and maybe stand out and offer some sort of secret sauce, or whether it's about building out a timeline with step-by-step plan so that you can actually follow through on building something that makes sense for your business instead of going down a rabbit hole building the wrong thing. Once you do build things, they'll show up in the Assets tab as well. Right now, you'll see we mostly have sources from all the research we've done. As you connect other tools, build out your own documents, or create your own apps, you can actually find them here. It's a place to organize all the valuable things that you built. So as you can see here, using Siift as a master context system for building also introduces discipline into your process to keep you thinking business first, so you can actually make things people want instead of going down a rabbit hole.